Well, I think I counted these. I think I got 15, and I'm going to do some honorable mentions.
Yeah,
One,
go for
two,
it.
three, four, five, six,
All right,
seven,
I'm glad
eight,
you came
nine,
up with
10,
some.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Some of them I'm coming up with as I hear you talk.
So these are 15 of your favorite albums.
I tried to think about what albums that I really listened to from front to back. Because I think as a rapper or MC, um, I don't know. We're very self-absorbed and into our own shit. And especially in New York, you're caught up with being the fucking illest. And if they're not as ill as you, fuck them. And it was very New York City underground was competitive in a way that I don't think other places were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like that with a lot of things with New York.
Yeah. So I mean, like we came up with almost like a fucking hatred for each other and until you know what I mean? It's like you find someone who does the same thing as you and it's like you gotta fight now. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
That's why Jay-Z said you can make it in New York, you can make it
anywhere.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Now I strived. I did well in New York. My trouble was getting the fuck out of it. But so for me, a lot of my albums are very lyric dense, you know? And I might be missing some, so I'll try to make some honorable mentions. Um, I'm gonna. Was it you? Did you mention Illogic?
No, just
You didn't.
Lewis Logic.
Illogic. I discovered Illogic. The album got lyrics.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yep, Columbus, Ohio. I discovered him. He was on, featured on Aesop Rock's Labor Days. I battled one of his like I think they were crew, his boy Blueprint in a cipher, in Rocksteady. It was a cipher. I think it was me, Thurston Howell the third. Me and Blueprint ended up battling in that cipher. Shout out to both of them. Then I'm gonna go with "Depart from Me" from Cage.
Oh, nice.
This was the reinvention of Cage.
Yeah, when Cage moved into more of like I don't want to say like an emo look, but he did kind of.
That's what he was classified as. And the album was produced by LP, and it was progressive hip hop. I enjoyed that. I thought that album was great. You mentioned the Roots, and it reminded me of Illadelph Half-Life. Black Thought's rhyming is a technical rapper. Black Thought's rhyming. Black Thought was always the way that he patternized, I don't know if it got the proper praise it was due in those times, you know, but at the last spots I got credit, can run them down in alphabetical order is sort of pathetic. Yo, I'm living life within the labyrinth and non. Like he was very much a technical wordsmith. And as the Roots albums would go on, there was a point in time where he would veer away from that. And then he started doing these solo albums and these little cipher verses, he would really come back with that style of putting words together and that is his signature, right? In such a way that, you know what I mean, that he himself, I would say, created. So yeah, Roots Illadelph Half-Life for me, that's to me is a classic.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned MOP The Warriors. I mean, I've had with like I said, I've done college shows with these guys. That album. I mean,
you've probably seen some crazy shit when Annie Up comes on.
The way they would get those crowds moving was crazy. Like the way that those rooms would bounce to an MOP show. How could it not?
MOP makes you want to like smash your head through a brick wall.
It's about that's hip hop's version of like if there's any groups that can get you to mosh, it would be MOP and Onyx. And in fact, when it was on My Expert Opinion where they were saying that Onyx should do a verses, and I forgot who they were mentioning. I think it was Red and Meth or something. And I was like, what? Are you crazy? MOP.
You got to match the energy.
Yeah, like an MOP and an Onyx versus, I think, would be crazy.
I can't even think of who would be a third that would be on that level.
For that thing, no, they're probably the top two. I mean, unless we're missing something, but off the bat, no, those are the top two. And this is none of this is necessarily in any order. Nas, It Was Written. I mean,
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not It Was Written.
Illmatic.
Illmatic. What am I?
I actually like It Was Written.
I like It Was Written too, but Illmatic has a certain thing that I just, And with that said, I'm going to give a honorable mention to Smooth the Hustler.
Once Upon a Time in America.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go with. It's not necessarily on the list because I don't know but I do remember getting into that album, so I want to give that an honorable mention.
So there were a couple songs at least on that album.
Absolutely,
that you liked.
No question about it. Yeah. I mean, that Broken Language shit was crazy. That shit is dope. For me, I'm gonna go with Reasonable Doubt from Jay-Z because to me it was
can't go wrong with that.
To me, that's one of his. I'm a technical rhyme guy, so to me, Jay-Z is a very unorthodox rapper. People seem to lose sight of that because they focus so much on the catchy Jay-Z, the singles that Jay-Z had to offer. But Jay-Z is a very, very technical writer, and I say writer, not meaning literally writes it, but, creator, the way he patternized it. He is very, very unique and very unorthodox in his style. And a lot of it can be found on the Reasonable Doubt album.
Every song great on that album.
Yeah.
Same with Illmatic. I mean, but
yeah. And Illmatic carries a certain feel. If you want to know what 90s New York really felt like, I feel like you listen to Illmatic and you get that. And I'm gonna just like it's not really in an order, but I have The Cold Vein from Cannibal Ox.
Def Jux.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a point in time like when hip hop, like rappers had, and you can see it within this list and the list that you're mentioning. Underground rappers had very distinctive styles that separated them from one another. Whereas now, I'm not aware of the artists that are like that. I'm sure some of them exist, but specifically the New York City underground was filled with them. And, it was a big difference between Thurston and Vastair. Vastair would say I like to place apples on foreheads before I speak. It's like archery, only it pierced deeper. Like this is when it was about being ill, like really being ill. And I think that New York we were the pinnacle of that. You know what I'm saying? And you had some people that, in LA, you had Freestyle Fellowship, where they was stepping their shit up lyrically, you know what I mean? And people like The Far Side, and they were coming with that, but nobody quite is fucking with New York, I think, when it came to innovating experimental styles in hip hop. I mean, anybody's welcome to challenge that, but I will name an endless fucking list of artists, and I believe you're going to lose that debate.
Yeah, we're gonna go a little bit deeper into the rap styles thing. The song that really got me with Cannibal Ox was The F Word.
Yeah. And this was, and another thing too with Vastair, this was a more tamed Vastair. If you look at Vastair's early works, like the stuff on the Addams Fam and all this shit, you were getting heavy lyric fucking Vastair, man. Where like, Heavy Mental, Killer Priest. Right? I mean, I memorized the Heavy Mental. That's just, this shit just felt like the fly. I used to like to walk around saying lyrics that, because you'll see a kid and he's walking and it's just like he sounds like a buffoon with what he's saying. Yeah. Like, fucking drug rap. You sound like an idiot. You know what I mean? You don't sound like an idiot when you're walking and you're like, voyaging 140 billion light years through the shadows of your imagination. Now open your eyes. Do you see the flaming arrows aiming at pharaohs in amputation as we begin to racing like a sparrow through the narrow population, seeking purification? The destination is the Holy Land. That's like, what the fuck is this kid listening to? What excuse me? Voyaging 140 billion light years through the shadows of your imagination? moving in this aircraft so fast. No, moving in this space. Is he a spacecraft? Spacecraft so fast, everything we pass, pass will turn glass to rock. Yo, man. And that's the shit that like me and my crew, like we were like, we didn't give a fuck about like, I'm so fucking lyrical in my the rhymes in my backpack. When Killer Priest was doing that, fuck your backpack. Fuck how lyrical you are. Fuck your poetry. Fuck your lyricist lounge movement. No. This guy is talking about this. This is like, I'm sorry. To me, we place this above that other shit, you know, and respect to all that other shit as a part of that scene. But nah, this was where it was at. I'm sorry. And when and I remember, and I went to Flatbush, and it was a store called Hardcore. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, it was fucking grimy, you know? And that's where like, this is the type of shit you had to fucking come with, like to get respect. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man. Okay, you want to say something?
No, I mean, the lyrics are dope. High level of lyricism, but no matter what you're saying walking down the street, you're going to be seen as a crazy person.
Fuck that. But you're going to be seen like an insane fucking genius saying that shit. There's so much fly shit that he said on that. Fucking, and then he just starts with the Jew shit. Rockatai how shot. Yo, wow. That's the shit that for me, because I like next level shit. I like next level shit. I like when somebody says some shit that it's not where I feel like I'm now I'm elevating beyond this human fucking form. That's the kind of shit that's gonna fuel me.
I never got into him. I always tried, but maybe I'll check out Heavy Metal again.
Oh man, and if he has something to later, it's a little newer. The psychic world of Walter, something along those lines. He got this song called Vision. Oh, it's so fucking. He's a one of one, man. There's nobody like him.
Shout out Killer Priest.
Hell fucking yeah, man. Supreme Client. I just want to keep
Ghostface
Killer. I gotta fucking move forward, but I would just keep ranting about that. Supreme Clientele. It's nobody has to say. You don't really got to give an explanation. And I will say that I feel that Ghostface, in that era of Ghostface, was kind of like the theme music for a lot of subcultures. You know, for the graffiti subculture, for the sneakerhead subculture, for the polo head subculture. I feel like this was the theme music that fueled all of that.
Yeah. So much influence everywhere.
Yeah. Only built for Cuban links.
Raekwon the Chef.
When I was a kid, I think I might have been 14 when this came out, because this was what, 94? It was in that time frame. And
95 maybe.
These beats, I'm a Rizzo over Premier guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So these beats, it's not like dark, fucked up shit, you know? These beats, Rainy Days, those sounds.
Incarcerated Scarface.
Just this represents for me, you know, and you'll see me talk a lot against the drug rap and all of this, but there was so much artistry in this. Like I said, I was listening to, I didn't even know what the fuck they were talking about. I didn't know the half of this shit they were talking about drugs. There was so much lyricism and artistry within it that it overrode that, you know what I'm saying, that thing. And it was more than that too. It was so this was, yeah, man. The beats on here, dude, like there's so many, and this was the one too with Nas on it. Through the lights, glamours and action, glamour glitters and gold unfold the scroll, plans to stampede the globe, and I'm deceased. Got in the beast of rhymes like East. The conquer peace, leave for savages to roam in the street. Live on the run. Police paying me to give him my gun. Trick my wisdom with the system that imprison my son. Nice, Nas.
There's only one. Nice. There's one beat on Only Built for Cuban Links that I don't like, and it's like an unpopular opinion because everybody loves it. But the one beat I just never liked was Ice Cream.
Yeah, you're alone on that one.
I know.
You're alone on that
I can't get
one.
into it, and I keep trying to listen to it. It's just not for me, but it's a dope, it's a dope song.
I'm going to be off on my own island on this one, which is okay. But I'll Sleep When You're Dead by LP.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand why a lot of hip hop heads, this might not be in their list. I'm into a lot of experimental music, and I never liked, if it's rock for me, it's going to be something like Tool, where the average rock fan is going to be like Slayer, where of course they're an incredible band and shit, but Tool was more sophisticated, more for like the intellectual rock head, but also real deep, dark, heavy, and fucked up. Just, you know what I'm saying? With like Maynard brought that element with the things that he was talking about. Probably more fucked up than the guys who appeared to be fucked up because it was rock, but it was really all very surface, praise Satan nonsense, not rooted in anything of any real substance. When you look at their lyrics, it's fucking raining red and everybody's dead. And whereas when Maynard with Tool brought a certain level of depth. So, but anyway, my point is that when you listen to this I'll Sleep When You're Dead album from LP, you get a lot of musical influence outside of hip hop. And it's very, it's outside the box. He's got a song. Mars Volta is singing on the intro of it. He's got a song with Trent Reznor called Flyintology. Concept is like you believe in God when you think you're in a plane and you're gonna crash. Like that's your religion. When you think you're going down, that's when you fucking believe in God. So Flyintology.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you had you mentioned Cage. Oh, this is a masterpiece.
But first, I don't think you're alone on the LP. I think he has a very big cult following.
It's cult following though. It's cult. It's like you with like
he gets movie placements though with his music.
No. It's not. What I'm saying is not what I'm talking about is popular opinion. It's no secret. LP's very successful, but when I talk about popular opinion, if you mention LP, people are probably going to be like they like the Run the Jewels. A lot of people like Run the Jewels, and they're probably going to be like we like Cold Flow.
Right.
And if they go to the solo career, they're probably going to mention Fantastic Damage.
Most people will say they like Run the Jewels, but they don't know LP or Coflow work. They just know Run the Jewels because it's good music to work out to.
You'll get that. And now around this time when he did Fantastic Damage, that's when there was a divide in the underground. I don't know if this was in other places, probably. But in New York City, there was this divide. The Def Jux guys were considered nerd rap, and then everybody else was trying to sound like, I don't know, hip hop from 1994. They were trying to emulate that in the underground. I gravitated more towards the Def Jux experimental sound. Like I said, I'm a next level kind of person. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like I don't see why we have to try to keep remaking 1992.
Well, you got me excited because you're about to talk about Cage. I'm a big Cage fan. Cage, I have an interview with Cage. It is like the highest viewed interview on the entire channel. It has like 66,000 views right now, which is crazy. So shout out to Cage Kennels.
Shout out to Cage. It's a song on there. It's called, I forget what it's called, the title of the song, but it's about finding love on a prison ship. And these, him and LP are prison guards on this ship. And the level of the griminess of the beat, like he creates the perfect atmosphere. And I have an appreciation for quality writing, real quality, the ability to stick to a subject, no stupid braggadocious lines for the sake of nothing that don't belong there, just pure quality writing, not fucking anything up to take you out of the mood. Kanye would often take me out the mood where it's just like, I am a god, hurry up with my damn croissants. It's like, okay, I get the humor, but you just killed it. Like you said, I am a god and you got this big beat, now you're hurry up with the croissants. You know what I mean? For me, there was certain things about Kanye's writing that I was never crazy about.
like God wouldn't be like waiting at a table for his waiter.
Yeah, like he brings the element of human humor, but I don't think it's warranted. And he would often even did that with the Jesus. Well, the way Kathy Lee needed Regis, that's the way I need Jesus. It sounds nice because the way it rhymes, but you're talking about your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the creator of all things. You need him like Kathy Lee needs Regis. To me, like there's a disconnect. I don't
like they worked together, but they didn't need each other because.
And even beyond that, it's just like the creator of all things and talk show host. I don't like those that kind of thing where when LP and Cage go back and forth together, the way that they wrote that is an absolute masterpiece. And LP is like, he loves this, he's in love with this prisoner, but he still has to kill her in the end.
Where's the song from?
It's from that album, I'll Sleep When You're Dead.
Oh, okay.
Masterpiece, absolute masterpiece. Phenomenal writers, both of them. So that's the LP album. It has many of these songs that are just like original and like, just everything about it from the beats. It's very unique. Stands alone. Slim Shady LP, that was classic Eminem. A lot of people are in love with that Eminem and they can't get past that Eminem. When Eminem came out with the follow-up album, because this is his first album, right? I'm going to make sure I'm doing this. Slim Shady LP.
Well, no, Infinite was his first one, but not official.
Right.
Slim Shady
LP was the first one. And then there was the Marshall Mathers LP. Correct. Okay, when he came with the Marshall Mathers LP, I was more impressed with him as a rapper, because what he was doing on the Slim Shady LP was what I call template rapping. So what it means is it's very dent. It's very box. Mm-hmm. It can be dope. Jadakiss does it. Styles P does it. Beanie Siegel does it. But when he came out on the Marshall Mathers LP and he completely broke free from that shit, you know what I'm saying? And he had all of these different variations in volume and emotion, you know what I'm saying, that we didn't really see on the Slim Shady LP. So I thought that Eminem got better in time. There was a part where it dipped, where he was high, he was on drugs, he had his moment. He came out of it, he got past that, and now we see today Eminem, which he is at the height of his lyrical ability. It don't resonate with people because people are not rappers. What resonates with people is the Slim Shady LP, and they probably attach it to a certain time in their life. And what happens is artists will often try to recreate those moments, but it's a mistake because you're never going to be able. 50 Cent could never recreate Get Rich or Die Trying, because you cannot create the events. You cannot create the atmosphere that surrounded it. And it's the same with Eminem. You'll never recreate.
And their attitude at the time.
All of it. The fact that you were a white rapper, and it wasn't common in mainstream culture for white rappers. You cannot recreate the circumstances that provided the atmosphere for all of these things to take place. But nonetheless, I think it is a classic album from start to finish.
Marshall Mathers LP.
Well, no, Slim Shady LP. But yes, I'll give that an honorable mention as well.
Yeah, man.
The Good Son, Homeboy Sandman.
Homeboy Sandman.
Good Son, Homeboy Sandman.
He's from Queens.
From Queens, New York. I mean, what really can I say? I was doing shows with Sand at around this time.
His first album, a first official album?
This was not the first one. I think the first one might have been called Actual Factual Pterodactyl.
Okay, but this one, The Good Son, it had like a blue cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I remember this album.
Solid, hardcore rhyming, hardcore lyricism. Not hardcore in the sense of like violence and all of that. Very against the grain, going against a lot of cliches. He seemed to carry these. He was championing these principles that would earn him a movement of people to rally behind what he was doing. This album really encompasses that and carries that. And Sand is a rhymer. If you really listen to his abilities, his catalog as a whole, he's one of them people that can do almost anything rhyme wise. Like his shit is crazy. He's one of the best. And in many disciplines, he can be very, very, very technical, very technical. Many times he chooses not to be, but you see a lot of evidence. And the song The Miracle, too, that's a dope one, too. Yeah, I looked the song Miracle. That's on one of the EPs he released.
Nice.
No shortage of this.
If you guys want to see I Am Many rapping with Homeboy Sandman and Sha Stimuli, go to YouTube, because you're already on YouTube watching this. Search Rap Is Out of Control, Homeboy Sandman, I Am Many, Sha Stimuli, any of those names, you'll see it. I filmed it. They're rapping with DJ Clips playing the beat. Crazy freestyle. One of the best ones we did on the show.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, it was a dope one.
Thank you. We have, after that, I have Liquid Swords.
Jizza.
To me, that's my favorite. I think that Genius, the beats on that album, man, oh man. If you're going to talk about street stuff, I think that it should sound bad. It shouldn't be pretty as you discuss all of this terrible stuff. The beats that,
like Living in the World Today, I like that song.
I mean, everything on there, and his rhyming, man, he's the writer, you know what I'm saying, of the Wu-Tang. I think all the members will honor his pen. You know, he may not have the personality of a Ghostface, but he's very sharp, very precise, very the lyrical ability is very dense.
Calculated.
Yeah, you said it. Very calculated. So for me, if I had to pick an album, that's it for me. I'm a Liquid Swords guy. If I had to choose between all of the Wu-Tang albums.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And then, last but not least, Labor Days, A$AP Rock.
A$AP Rock.
All right, Long Island,
New York.
A$AP Rock is something that you think you're up on things. You think you're a lyrical guy. I was introduced to A$AP from Despot, who was a part of my crew, Level X.
He's from like Rochester, New York.
Despot? No, Despot's from Queens.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and Despot would go on to become a part of Def Jokes, but then they, like, when they were kind of dying before their doors closed, and now and then he would go. He has a show on HBO where Chillin' Island.
Despot had a song that I loved. It was on repeat. It was called like Get Rich or Try Dying.
Yeah.
Yo, that was a crazy song.
Despot is...
I wish I could have it again. Like, I don't know where to find it.
Despot is absolutely... He's one of the best. And it's, when I say it's hard to say, just when I say one of the best, I just mean he has his lyrical ability. He's up there with the greats. I don't know why he doesn't release music, but I can tell you, from what I know of him, from what I've been able to hear, from what I've always heard, he's up there, undoubtedly. But
he's dope.
I believe I was introduced to A$AP from him. And the first feeling I remember experiencing was, why don't I understand this? Why don't I get this? And it annoyed me because it made me feel like, is there something wrong with me? I almost felt challenged. I didn't like that there was something that it was beating me. It was like, why can't I tackle this? And most people would just be immediately turned off, like, oh, I don't know what that is. But I was more like confused and I wanted to understand it. And that thing there, trying to understand it, like, I wanted to crack the code. Like, why is this so difficult for me? And
it was frustrating for me too, and it still is, because I still haven't cracked the code. Okay. But I remember his popularity on the message boards online, and everybody was just like raving about this. Like all the underground fans, it was like this cult classic thing. Like everything A$AP Rock did was just like incredible to them, and I just never understood it. There were some songs I liked audibly, like Float was dope. He's like, when everybody around me is busy drowning, I float, like that. And then Daylight was great song because dope beat, and I understood the chorus, right? All I ever wanted was to pick apart the day, put the pieces back together my way. That is very simple to understand. But the verses, I'm just like lost. It's just like it's big words that rhyme very well together, but I just can't make sense out of it.
Yeah, he was very poetic. And some of it was, a lot of it in certain different times was very coded. Other times it wasn't very coded, but it was presented in such a form where it was maybe the tone of his voice might have been a little high pitched. There's a lot going on in the beat. He's speaking quickly. There are all of these things that might be repellents to certain listeners. For me, I was so intrigued by the lyricism of it all that either I didn't notice those things or they didn't bother me, because I was so into this next level of lyricism. At that time there was a great divide. A$AP Rock, I think in particular, his rise is kind of what I feel one of the main things that started that divide with this is nerd rap. Do you remember that?
I remember that time. People call it nerd or like backpacker or whatever, but it didn't.
No, but like to be a backpacker was okay. Specifically, these guys, Def Jux, they were accused of being nerd rappers.
No, I don't remember that. I remember just experimental types.
Yeah, no, that was a big thing. This nerd rap label that was being put on them.
I remember they were like radio freestyles it was like A$AP Rock and Sage Francis and Slug from Atmosphere and Idea. And they were just like all like rapping together. That was so dope because they're such unique individual artists that make their music is so different that you wouldn't know that they'd be all like friends.
But that's why it all goes together, because they're all, it's all very honest. It's all coming from, like, you could see how it all would make sense together.
And they're all just real freestoling. So,
and it's heavy lyricism. Yeah. Like they all come from a place of heavy lyricism in their own unique way. But yeah, there's nobody quite like A$AP Rock. I think that A$AP Rock is in a class of his own. I like his later material even more so than an album like Labor Days, but it's just that Labor Days marks a certain point, a certain period in my life, and I think what it represented in the culture at the point in time in which it was presented. You know what I mean? The mark that it made, I think, holds a lot of meaning.